Okay, so this is the what should I write about video. For some of you, this is like your biggest question that you have, or maybe your only question, and then some other people that are taking this writing course, I know already know exactly what they want to write. So hopefully this can still give you some type of inspiration or direction, because it's a little bit broader than just what should I write. But it is a little bit tricky, because obviously everybody should write about something different. What I should be writing about is not what you should be writing about, and I can't do 100 different videos to tell 100 different people you should write about A, B, or C. But there are exercises that I did that I learned from other people, and that I think that could help you kind of sit down and figure out what would work and what wouldn't work. So the first thing that I would do would be to sit down, and I have a worksheet for you that will be posted below for you to work through this too. But I would sit down, and what I call it is actually doing a brain dump, where you just dump everything out of your brain. But sit down and think about, it doesn't have to be crazy. Like, you don't have to be nervous about it, or it doesn't really matter what you put on this page. Just dump every idea out of your head that you have about things that you could maybe write about. It's okay if 99% of these never actually see your blog or your book or your writing project. Just go through and write down things that you think are interesting, things that you love to learn about, things that you've gone through, maybe different experiences that you think people would like to hear about. Write about things that you, like skill sets, talents that you might want to write about. A big indicator would be if there's something that you just constantly want to talk about. If you constantly find yourself wishing that you could share with whoever you're talking to about this thing, or you wish that you had an audience of 100 people or 10,000 people to share your thoughts on this particular topic, or it's something that you learned how to do and you want to tell people how to do it. If you constantly find yourself wishing you could share on this thing, that is like big green light. Like, definitely write that down. I would say you really want to write things that you're passionate about. If you just care about it a little bit, don't even waste your time putting it on your list. Things that you get out of bed for are perfect for what you want to put in your blog or in your book. So just sit down and take unsaid amount of time and put all those things down on a piece of paper. Save that piece of paper because it will be gold to you. Then, now there are, some of you may not be wanting to do a blog. I think everybody should have a blog, even if you don't do a whole lot with it. So I'm going to be speaking from, a blog point of view. That's what I do. But there are two kind of categories that you can fall in as a writer, specifically as a blog writer. You can either be niche, like you can have one particular topic that you write on, or you might write on several topics. So for a niche person, like, you might know that you have this one particular thing that you want to write about, and that's everything is going to be about that. And by the way, that is completely perfect for the internet. It is so good to have a niche to where your audience knows that every time they come to you, you're going to be talking about this. You're going to have this particular subject on your blog. What that's going to help you do is create this perfect target audience, because it doesn't really matter if you have thousands of people coming to your blog. If they don't care about the thing that you're talking about, it's not going to help them. It's not going to help you. It's never going to turn into any type of sales or really relationship or anything like that, because they don't care about your topic. But if you have 25 people that come every day to see you talk about your niche and they love everything that you say, then it's a gold mine to you. That's so valuable, because they're there for exactly the thing that you love, and they're going to love it too, and they're going to keep coming back. So you want a target audience, and that is good for the internet. So, and it's good for a book idea too. Obviously, if you're thinking about a book, then a niche topic, one thing, would be really good, because that's going to give you way more focus than if you have 50 things that you want to write about. So one category you would be on the niche side of things. Now, with me, I tend to fall on the other side of things. So if you just love to write and you're not really specific on what you want to write about, you just express yourself through writing, you might have 20 different topics that you want to write about. And that's okay. You just have to be organized, and you have to calculate. So, like in the case of a blog, what you would do, like whenever you visit my blog site, mine isn't just one topic. I write on all kinds of things. So what happens in that case is that you become the brand, you become the topic, and people continue to come back because of your voice, not necessarily because of the specific thing that you talk about. You're going to have a lot of different kind of people coming to your blog. But if you go to my blog, I'm going to have, I think, probably 5 categories across the top. And then underneath each of those categories, I have subcategories. So that's how I organize all the things that I want to talk about. So it doesn't have to be 5, it could be 2, it could be 3. I wouldn't have more than 5, probably. But you might have a blog, and it has food, business, and art are your categories. Those are the things that you like, eat, sleep, and breathe, and that's what you want to talk about. Well, then if somebody comes to your blog and they like business, they click on the business tab. Underneath business, you might have budgeting, goal setting, prioritizing, and social media marketing. So if you love to talk about all of those different things, now you have this perfect place to put them. So if I come out with an article about a tool that I use to help me stay on budget for the month, I have a perfect place to put that. And that helps you to stay on focus with what you want to put out to the world. And then whenever somebody is coming to read your blog, now they have this perfect map of how to get around. They know exactly where to go to find whatever content they're seeking. And really, it's your map too. Now that you have, these different categories and subcategories, you know that if you are thinking about writing something that doesn't really go in there, it might not be your thing. But if you have a lot of ideas on this topic, you might want to add that into one of your subcategories, because you're finding that you have a lot of content on it. So those are kind of the 2 areas that you can fall under. And you might want to just sit down and think about which one you want to do. There is no better or worse. I mean, there's people who are succeeding in both. So give that some thought. The next thing, and a lot of people will probably either consider this not a necessary part, or they'll think it's wasting time, or will just ignore it. But if you want to figure out what you should write, then you need to start reading like a lot more, wherever you can make the time. Read blogs that you love, read the top blogs, read books that you love, read old books, new books, and in doing that, you're going to figure out what you like, you're going to get inspired, you're going to see writing styles that you love and what you don't love. Probably for a little while you're going to have like a favorite author that you just want to write exactly what they're writing, and then that might change whenever you read some more. But one of the most important things you can do is to read a bunch, and then after that, write a bunch. Start, you don't have to start writing your blog yet, but just start writing each day. And we'll have a whole separate video about writing every day, but you have your list from step number 1, and you've decided if you're niche or if you're going to have a lot of categories, and you've been reading a lot. So now just start putting some of those things onto paper. It doesn't have to be official. It doesn't have to go anywhere. Nobody has to see that, but just start getting into the practice of seeing what comes out. Now that you've put some things in and you've thought about it, what comes out. And then start asking God about it. I mean, really, that should be it, number one. But particularly after you've got this information and you're starting to kind of figure out the process and what you want to do, I figure if God put this in you, if He is the one inspiring you to write something, He already knows what it is He wants you to tell the whole world. So we don't have to be scared that He doesn't want to tell us or that He's going to keep it a secret from us, because He wants you to share this even more than you do. This is His whole thing, not ours. So just start asking God for inspiration. Ask Him to reveal Himself to you and what He wants you to write, what topics. Ask Him to give you words to say, and ask you to just shut down any extras, like any ideas that are floating around that aren't of Him or aren't really the direction He wants you to go in. So after this, after you've been kind of working through these steps, and I have them numbered for you on your worksheet, after a little bit of time where you've been letting everything kind of simmer for a little bit, go back to that list that you made at number 1 and start, probably by this time you've narrowed down some things. You probably were thinking throughout the past couple days and like, no, I don't really want to write about that, or you had an idea but then you went to read on the topic and it didn't really interest you, so you knocked that out. So you've probably already done some narrowing on your list. Start going back and looking at your kind of top picks, like what is still standing out to you on your list, and write those things on the second page that I gave you, and go to each of those headings. So again, say that you have food, business, and art. Take food and write it on a piece of paper and see if you can come up with 2 to 3 really good blog posts or articles or essays, whatever, on the topic of food that you're like so passionate about and so excited to share. And then go to your next topic, business. Can you think of 2 to 3 articles under business that you are like so excited about to where you can't wait to write more? Chances are, if you can't even come up with 2 to 3 really good things that you're super excited about, that's not really the thing for you. It might be a great topic, but just not for you. If you come to something that you just have ideas for days, just endless idea after idea after idea, that is something that you definitely need to be paying attention to. So those are the exercises. That's what I did. That's how I came up with, and mine has changed. Like when I first started, my map looked one way, and then as I really got into my blog, I realized like, okay, I have this category here for, whatever it was, but I haven't really written anything that goes under that category. Like obviously I'm not that passionate about it, so I took that category off. It's not like what you put on there is set in stone forever, but it's good to have a map, to have an idea of where it's going. So I'll see you at the next video.